first formulating this, some of the arguments about where omega-3, 6, and 9 were, and I thought they were, you know, characters on Star Trek or something. So what's the difference, omega-3, 6, and 9? What role do they play, and why is the ratio so important? And it comes from Sasha Inchi, I think, where we get it.
Yeah, I mean, Sasha Inchi was a marvel that way, and you know, with essential oils, that balance for them to do what they do in the body, to help the nervous system, to help inflammation, that ratio is the key for that to happen. All of the other, you know, oil producers out there for ingestion, they were always adding flax, which has, you know, 3, and it had these other ones for looking for that balance. And Dr. Udo is like the grandfather of Udo's oils.
Who, Dr. Udo?
Udo, U-D-O. And when I found Sasha Inchi, called Ink and Gold, we did some tests, and it was that balance. And I went back to some of that guy's research, and it proved that balance of 2 to 1, omega-6 and 3, was a perfect ratio for then the body to create 9. And that was the golden ratio of that oil. And so I went back to Udo, and I saw that research, and I was like, that's Sasha Inchi. It never existed in a plant form before. So I actually went to him at Expo West years ago, and I couldn't get to him, but I talked to like his right-hand man, and I said, listen, this stuff is the best oil that I've ever seen. And cut to, he started using it a few years later, but it's that key for metabolism, nerve transmission, cholesterol, and inflammation. But it's that balance that the body needs, and our diets are full of the imbalance of omega-6.
Well, people talk about, you know, fish oil.
Yeah.
I can remember actually when we were first dating, Isabel used to make me have a teaspoon of fish oil every day. That was yummy.
Romantic.
And then actually she made me stop because the source was suspect, and I guess it was mercury or whatever was even getting into the purest form of that. And she was like, you know, she gets depressed every time one of these sources that she finds that she loves, and the transaction happens or something happens with the quality of it, she can tell, and she's bummed out, and I have to talk her out of her depression. And but she was bummed. So it used to be just like fish oil or salmon or
Fish oil was a better balance, and yet it still wasn't even. It was a greater source of 3. So if your diets are heavy in omega-6, then if you're taking in a heavy source of omega-3, then you're balancing it through a lifestyle choice of taking an omega-3. But yeah, I've traced, you know, a lot of foods back to the source, and you know, the fish oils are very challenging to get a very clean source, and I have yet to find a very good one that I would ingest.
yeah. So Sasha Inchi is a pretty cool find right now. Now, when we were first creating Shakeology, the objective was whole food, you know, bioavailability.
Yeah.
And you know, you look at this video and you see these superfoods, and you sort of make these assumptions that the body knows what to do with it. But there's something special going on here. Can you talk about what bioavailability means and how we know it's better than isolates, kind of?
Yeah. It's a good question, and I'll try to hit it from a couple angles because it may be a little tricky. But bioavailability is the body's ability to utilize and absorb nutrients. Period. That's bioavailability, right? So there's a few reasons what makes that happen, and the nutrient quality and density is number one. The state of the person drinking it is number two.
Like Delaware.
Right. Sidebar.
Sorry.
The amount of anti-nutrients or toxins within that or within the body is going to affect bioavailability, and then how you process the food is going to affect bioavailability. So Shakeology, I've spent a lifetime of looking at quality foods, right? And so the brilliance of getting what seems to be just a powder in a bag is understanding indigenously how they grow it, but how they dry it and take care of it. And so, as you learn to dehydrate things and put things in suspended animation so that you keep it in a whole food form, that is then recognized. And let me explain bioavailability a different way. So let's say a food is a car. Okay, it's whole and complete, and it drives down the road, right? Okay, so if you're eating this food, the body receives it, and it is able to transport itself to the place it needs to go. Okay, you with me so far?
Kinda.
Yeah? Let's say you take off a tire, right? And someone said, the tire is the best thing about this food. And they say it's vitamin C.
Vitamin T.
Or vitamin T. The tire. He's brilliant, isn't he? Amazing. Just comes. So you take this out of this complete thing that the body recognizes, and you say tire, and I'm going to take that in. Someone decided that, not the body, right? So you take in this tire, and the body still tries to get it to the place it needs it, but it's a tire. It's not a car. It can't go to that place. So that's when isolation is challenging for the body. I would venture to say more and more research will come out about isolates being kind of on the verge of toxic because the body can't recognize them so much. So the brilliance of us going back to whole food is that we know that the body can recognize it and bring it to the place that it can utilize it. And you can take, there's research, you can take vitamin C and you'll get a result, but the body uses backup systems to take that tire and go, oh, it doesn't have its cofactors, it doesn't have its engine, so we gotta bring other elements, we gotta bring other minerals, some enzymes to transport it to where it needs to go. So that's in a nutshell. Does that make sense for everyone?
Yeah.
So the tire is in a nutshell.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm recording it.
No, and that was the whole point. That was actually the sell job. When we were starting to look at Shakeology and cost it out, we were like, oh my God, nobody's ever, sold a shake like this. It's a little scoop of brown powder. Now, if anybody's seen the Shakeology wall, you see how complex all those powders are, those ingredients, different colors, different textures, and all that stuff, and it ends up getting blended down in the chocolate form. It's this little brownish cup of stuff that looks so simple. God, it's got to be simple to make that consistently produced. But when you take all those elements in there, it's actually very complex. And it was considering that so many things are not bioavailable in the vitamin store. You walk to the vitamin store, you think you're buying the healthiest stuff, and it's all going to be good for you. And it's all really good marketing. And we wanted to go beyond really good marketing to actually really good bioavailability so that the experience that people had with it, with their health, would transcend the taste, would transcend the price, and actually live up to the promise of a healthy shake that could be called healthiest meal of the day.
Yeah, I mean it's not rocket science. We just got out of the way. We didn't feel that we were smarter than the freaking thing that created it,
right.
The food and everything else. So we just said, listen, let's leave it. Who am I to decide that cofactor tire is the greatest?
Did you just call God the frickin' thing that created it?
Well, I didn't want to make it so significant. We're good. I'm passionate about. You can appreciate that. I got a direct line.
Look, you're just
Awesome.
Maybe not today.
Say hi, Julie.
So now let's talk about vegan. I think we're in a dome. The vegan thing, some people wonder. They just have a thing when they see vegan. They think unless I'm vegan, that's not for me. Isabel is vegan, but not for political reasons, not for the ideology of veganism, but just because her body reacts better to that, right? I drink the vegan shake because she told me to. So, but right, no, that's the truth. I just do what she said. So you are, super shape, you work out. The workouts this guy does, outrageous. Guy goes underwater and lifts rocks, crazy stuff online. You search it. It's really weird. But you're doing that. Are you completely vegan?
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's
first
awesome.
off, should a person who is not vegan,
His triceps.
could a person who is not vegan benefit from the vegan shake in a way that they don't understand?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I think we're dealing with a culture that we've been, thinking meat and dairy and protein and all this stuff, and the research I keep doing is like, even the top researchers are keeping going, I don't think we need that much protein.
Yep.
They keep saying it over and over. And if you look at kale gram for gram, you're getting more protein than you are a gram of steak, because you've got fat in the steak and other things. So it's an illusion, and we're in a delusion about it. So the benefits of plant-based foods are astonishing.
Kale isn't as good with red wine.
Right. But I don't even know what to say.
But that's protein in general. But
Right.
what about animal versus plant? Like in terms of, I've heard you say that are the plant proteins easier to break down, different to break down? Like what's happening biologically that it's actually good for us to give our bodies a break from constantly getting it from animal sources?
Yeah, there's a synergy that we have with plants that are a lot more bioavailable, really, than the animal proteins, because there's a complexity to the animal proteins that you have to break down. They're a complete protein, and that's a good thing, but they're also, you need the enzymes to break. The protein comes in, you have to break it down to enzymes anyway. And there's things called, they're finding more and more that dairy and animal proteins have exogenous proteins, and exogenous proteins are things that the body can't recognize, can't use, and it gets thrown into the debris of the blood, and then you have inflammation of the blood and all these things. So if you're looking at meat and dairy as a protein source, it may have protein, but the actual availability that you're getting is plummeting in the research that continues to show up. So I would be in contention, like my guys, buddies of mine that I work out with, and they still, after years of doing this, they look at me every so often and go, seriously? You don't eat any meat? Because I'm doing everything with them, and I'm like, literally, I always go back to quality. I eat less than I ever did when I was eating meat and all those things. I'm just choosing the best possible. And if you go to that place, then you're never going to lose. So having like Shakeology and things like that, you're getting diversification, you're getting nutrient density, and that's the other side of it. I've never, in my years of doing this, for 25 years of living this way, even when I was in school and couldn't pay for it and things like that, I would never skimp. I would steal it. I would never skimp on food. I don't know. Even before I knew what I knew, I just would never do it. So I'd always choose the best, and I'd steal my books.
Nice.
Bill tells like the same type of story that when she changed careers and got into training and stuff, and she was living in a teeny one-bedroom apartment, but she had the best supplements. Like you guys are some sort of rare breed that's just like, literally she didn't care what her clothes were, whatever, but her supplements were always the best. Now, let's talk about fitness for a second and how it relates to that, because, many people doing intense workout routines, and it's easy for us to connect results and recovery formula or energy and endurance formula to an objective with fitness, but not necessarily the healthiest meal of the day. How does Shakeology fit in a fitness objective
Post-workout?
Well, you go back to the same thing. Instead of looking at a macro view of nutrition, you're looking at a micro view. You're looking at that whole car with all its components, cofactors, enzymes, and everything, instead of looking at it as a protein shake. After my workout, I'm getting 23 grams of protein. Well, there's a lot more going on. So your body's ability to recover, the body's ability to rid itself of acids that you've produced from the intense workout, the body's ability to recover from the inflammation that micro-inflammation happens every time you flex your muscle. So you have these something like Shakeology with food-based food in there and proteins and things, your body can then rid itself of those things. When you're talking protein, let's give a protein example. So if I've worked out really hard, I've produced that acid, right? And my lungs are the metabolic machine that gets rid of that acid. But if I ingest, right? If I ingest protein, that's acidic. So if I've created acidity as a workout and I've ingested more, I've actually put myself in a further position away from actually healing itself from the workout. So, you know, I have a different point of view about I came from...
Everything I know is wrong.
You know, I was not a professional, but I wanted to be, but a college football player and all that stuff. So I went through that gamut, and I'm telling you, the knowledge that I've gained through the experience of quality food and recovery, I'm faster, stronger than I was when I was 20, doing those kind of archaic things.
Right.
So the quality of food of something like Shakeology is going to make you don't know what you don't know unless you apply it. So challenge yourself. If you haven't been using Shakeology and you're working your ass off, try it as a recovery drink. Because I bet you dollars to donuts that you'll get the experience, because you're now at a level, if you've been doing your workouts all the time, you now have you're perceiving your body differently. So when you change one thing, you'll feel a different result.
But since I'm going to push back on that a little bit, because I'd still use recovery formula because the way the sugars were designed for rapid, like with less protein to get in the way of all that recovery. So does it have to be used in order to get that benefit that you just described? Does it have to be after, or is it really just a component of it? So what they're going to represent to people is like, again, because they're selling challenge packs and challenge groups, you want to be on Shakeology because it's going to help your body heal as a part of your day.
For sure.
It doesn't have to be right after. I mean, you're healing all day long, right?
Yeah. I apologize. I don't know all the other products, but yeah, there's an absolute glycogen protein pump that happens after a workout. So to do that is great. But at the end of the day, get it in your body.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Because it will do its thing, and whatever the timing of it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know?
Well, you said something that Shakeology helps the body because it comes in whole food form, the whole food ingredients that haven't been isolated. So it's helping the body heal itself the way it is, because it recognizes all the stuff. That was sort of also the essence of the reset. Did you see that transition that just happened? So now we're talking about reset. That was designed to not be prescriptive, to not be a drug, but to actually just facilitate, help the body heal itself, and do more to help the body heal itself, clean itself out, and kind of get out of the way, versus a drug which is sort of attacking the problem. The reset just sort of helps nurture the body there. So I'm doing it again on October 10th, and many of the people in here are doing it with me.
I'll be doing another one. I'll be cleansing in Africa, trying to just
Just because you're going to drink the water?